Hello everyone. Today our topic electrochemistry, the electrochemistry chapter I am going to start. Actually, as in the near we have a NEET exam. In the NEET exam point of view, I want to explain all the electrochemistry subtopics along with the application part. Okay, because if we consider the physical chemistry, the application part is also very important, as well as the theory part also. So the theory part along with that the application part we are going to do, but as today it is the introduction to the electrochemistry, so this is the session 1 of the electrochemistry. I'm going to explain the introduction and some important terminology in the electrochemistry. Okay, let us start our chapter. The first introduction, what is the introduction is nothing but the electrochemistry. What basis this electrochemistry, what we are going to study, what exactly happening in the electrochemistry, that is what the basis of electrochemistry. So in this electrochemistry, what is the process we are going to do? The process of electrochemistry is nothing but the electrons transferred. We are completely studying here electrons transferred in the electrochemistry. The electrons are transferred from one system to another. One system to another. We are, that is the basic knowledge in the electrochemistry. And here the electric current is also passing, because as the electrons are transferring from one system to another, the electric current also should be passed. This electric current we are considering as the flow of electrons. Electric current as flow of electrons or flow of electric charges through the conducting system. What is the conducting system is nothing but electrons are transferring from one system to another system. As electrons are transferring, they produces some current, so that is nothing but called the conducting system. This is also another point in the electrochemistry. And the third point in the electrochemistry is the substance. Whatever the substance we have, the substance which allows the electric current to pass through it is called the electrical conductor. Because while electrons are transferring, there is some conduction, so the substance which allowing to conduct the electricity, such type of substances are called electrical conductors. These are the basic information about the electrochemistry, electrical conductors. See, come to these electrical conductors, there are two important types of the electrical conductors are there. The first one is electronic conductors, electronic conductors, and the second one electrolytic conductors. Second one electrolytic conductors. So electronic conductors, electrolytic conductors. These are the two types of electrical conductors. What is meant by electrical conductor? The substance which allows the electric current passing through it. That is called the electrical conductor. Okay. So what is the difference between this electronic conductor and electrolytic conductors? There must be a difference. See, it is electronic conductors, electronic. It is electrolytic conductors, electrolytic conductor. So what is the difference between this electronic and electrolytic? See, the first difference is here the conduction of electricity. They conduct the electricity, conduction of electricity by flowing the electrons. So here by the flow of electrons, the electricity will be conducted. Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, conduct electricity by the movement of ions. It is not the because of the electrons. Electrolytic means movement of ions. Electronic means movement of electrons. The difference we should know. And the second difference between the electronic and electrolytic conductors, here the electrons, whatever the electrons we are taking, these electrons moves from negative end to the positive end. They moves from negative end to positive end. Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, these are the ions, right? Ions means charged species, positive ion, negative ion, H plus, OH minus. These are the ions. These charged species moves from the oppositely charged. They moves towards the oppositely charged. If it is a positive ion, moves towards the negative ion. If it is a negative ion, it moves towards to the positive ion. So how can we they moves towards the oppositely charged electrodes? See here, and next difference between these two is here no transfer of matter takes place, only electrons movement, no matter transfer can be takes place. Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, here the transfer of matter takes place. How much matter? The transfer of matter takes place here. And see, they are depending on the temperature. These electronic conductors depends on the temperature. How they are depending? Its conductivity, it is very important point. Conductivity decreases by rise of temperature. See, the conductivity decreases by increasing the temperature. Got it? Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, here conductivity increases. Its conductivity increases by increasing the temperature, by the increase of the temperature. Generally, examples for these electronic conductors are the metals. See, Na, it is a metal. Here, potassium, it is a metal. So, generally, these electronic conductors will be the metals or alloys, graphites means which having the free of electron. Graphite, not a diamond. Diamond doesn't have a free electron. Graphite has a free electron. So electronic conductors which have a free electrons to move, those are the examples for electronic conductors. Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, the examples for the electrolytic conductors are liquids or molten salts or aqueous solutions of salts. Example, HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, like that. Even we can take a sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, because they can be dissociate into ions. NaOH can dissociate into Na plus and OH minus. KOH can be dissociate into K plus and OH minus. These are called ionization and dissociating into the ions, like all they will be, they are the examples for the electrolytic conductors. Okay. See, these electronic conduction majorly depends upon the nature and structure of the metal. See, examples I said the metals. So in these metals, again it depends upon it depends upon which type of metal we are taking. Okay, and also how many number of valence electrons are present in that particular metal, that is also matters. So these are called the factors actually. So here we can write the points that electronic conductors, electronic conductors depends upon nature and structure of metal. And the second point, how many number of valence electrons are present in it? Number of valence electrons. And the next one, temperature. Whereas come to the electrolytic conductors, depends upon nature of the electrolyte added. The nature of electrolyte. What is electrolyte? Let us see in the next one. nature of electrolyte, and the next point, size of the ion, because electrolytic is nothing but ions, right? So size of ion produced, size of ions produced on their solvation. In the solvation is nothing but by solubility. NaOH, it is dissolved in the water, it is aqueous NaOH. So how much amount is dissolved, how much amount of Na plus and OH minus ions, the size of the ions also matters in the electrolytic conductors. And also it depends on the viscosity, means the density. So how much the nature of the solvent and its viscosity. Viscous was in the viscosity, like we'll study in the liquid state of the matters, right? In the liquid state of matter, we have a viscous forces will be present in the liquid state. That's why the nature of the solvent, whatever the solvent we are taking, in that it depends upon its viscosity also. Okay, so these are the differences and the factors depends upon the electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Now very important one is electrolysis. Generally this electrolysis we study from the lower classes, and also again once again we'll discuss here what is meant by electrolysis. See, before going to the electrolysis, we should know that what is meant by electrolyte, non-electrolyte. Again, is in the electrolyte there are two types: strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Let us see what is non-electrolyte. What is electrolyte also? Before going to the electrolysis, what is non-electrolyte? It is a substance which does not conduct electricity. Electrolytes, non-electrolytes, they won't conduct the electricity either in the molten state or in the aqueous state. Those are called non-electrolytes. Best example, urea. Urea is the non-electrolyte. Glucose, fructose. All these are the examples for the non-electrolytes. Glucose, fructose, we already know the both formula is C6H12O6 only, but in glucose there will be the aldehydes, in fructose there will be the ketonic group will be present. Urea, NH2CONH2, this is also does not conduct the electricity because it is a non-electrolyte. So they won't allow the electricity to pass through that either in the molten state or in the aqueous state. Molten is nothing but semi solid state, aqueous is nothing but completely the liquid state. They won't allow, such are called non electrolytes. Examples we can take, as I said, the glucose solution, urea solution, fructose solution. We can take the sugar syrup. Sugar is nothing but glucose solution, sugar solution. And some of the organic solvents, CCl4, that is also non-electrolyte. And non-polar covalent substances also acts as the non-polar covalent substances. Non-polar means they won't dissociate. Cl2 is there. That is a non-polar, but it is a covalent. The bond between the chlorine and chlorine is the covalent bond, but they are not dissociating. Such type are called the non-electrolytes, like we can take. And also one more important one, pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. See, pure water does not conduct the electricity because it won't dissociate. The water which contains the salts, that dissociates, that acts as the electrolyte, but which doesn't have any salts in that and which is a pure water, that does not conduct the electricity. So these are the best examples for the non-electrolyte. So now you understand what is a non-electrolyte: the substance which does not conduct the electricity either in the molten state or in the aqueous solution. Okay, those are called non-electrolytes. Let us come to the electrolytes. What is meant by electrolyte? Very important, because in the electrochemistry we study the electrolytic solution, electrodes. The terminology actually we study in the electrochemistry. What is meant by electrolyte? See, This is a substance in the molten state. Molten state is nothing but fused state also. In the molten state or in the dissolved state means water. Dissolved is nothing but it is a solution like, okay, containing ions and is functioning as a electrically conducting medium. Actually, see NaCl, it can dissociates like Na plus and Cl minus. When it is added to the water, it dissociates easily. Here, water is nothing but a solvent which helps to dissociate into the ions. So, it is said to be a strong electrolyte, like means electrolyte completely it dissociated, then it can conduct the electricity. That is called the fused state or in the molten state, both fused state or in the solution state. Solution state is nothing but when NaCl is mixed with the water. Fused state is nothing but itself it is in the semi solid state, NaCl. Okay, so they conduct the electricity, such are called electrolytes. Example, fused salts means NaCl, KCl, fused hydrides, some of the metals also, silver, AgCl, BaCl2, barium chloride, and also some metals also they gives the they dissociate into the ions like, okay, these are the electrolytes. This is the best example, like fused salts examples are NaCl, KCl, AgCl, barium chloride, all these are the fused salts. Whereas come to the aqueous solutions, NaCl solution means salt water, KCl, K2SO4, CuSO4, all these are when you are mixing with the water also they conduct the electricity. So we can say NaCl which dissolves in water, NaCl, that is called aqueous solution. Here we should know the difference between what is a fused salt, what is the aqueous solution. Fused salt is nothing but the salt in the liquid state. Aqueous solution means that salt mixed with the water, that is the difference. Okay, next, in these electrolytes again there are two types. First one is the strong electrolyte, second one is the weak electrolyte. What is meant by strong electrolytes? Here strong electrolytes means the electrolytes which ionizes completely. Completely means you can take 99%, they will be ionized. NaCl is there. If you are mixing it with the water, then it is getting Na plus and Cl minus. It is a positive ion, it is a negative ion. They are dissociating into ions completely. Such are called strong electrolytes. Weak electrolyte means electrolytes they will ionize, means they forms the ions partially and they'll have a low conductivity also. Here they are completely ionizing, so they are highly conducted. Those are called high conductivity. Weak electrolyte is nothing but partially ionized, means low conduction will be takes place. Okay, these are called the weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes. Strong electrolytes means we can take the example of the HCl, HCl because it is dissociating into H plus Cl minus strong electrolyte, H2SO4 2H plus SO4 minus 2. This is they are also dissociating into the ions HNO3, H plus and NO3 minus. So these are dissociating into the ions completely. So those are said to be the strong electrolytes. Weak electrolytes, we have a acetic acid, that is a weak electrolyte. CH3 COONH4, it is also the best example for the weak electrolyte. Next, BaSO4, these are the organic acids. We can take this is the organic acid and some of the bases and salts. They act as the weak acids. Ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, it acts as the weak acid, weak base, NH4OH. So H3BO3, boric acid, H3BO3. These are the some of the acids and bases, and BaSO4 is also the salt. These are the weak electrolytes. Okay, so this is a just in introduction, and some of the electrolytes, strong electrolyte, weak electrolyte, like I said, this is the just session 1. Today I just started the electrochemistry. The next topic is the mechanism of the electrolysis and its application. So what is my point of view? I want to explain what you have each topic in the NCRT textbook, which is helpful to the NEET students. NCRT textbook, each subtopic I'm going to teach in my videos. Please do follow my channel and subscribe. Like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you so much.